Good evening. For some mysterious reason, the sound on the intro video is not working. I have no idea why. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work, but at least my sound works. So we're ready to start playing PLO50 today. Probably starting with normal tables, but there's a lot of regulars on the tables, so I'm trying to find tables that don't have that many regulars, but in a lot of tables there's like 3 or 4 regulars on the table, so I'm not sure how plus EV it is to play with them when up at the table there's 5 regulars and maximum of 1 recreational players, but I don't know. Let's start up the tables and see how it goes. I'm just putting myself into every table. There's not that many tables open, so if the tables are bad, I'm just going to close them, and if we can't find decent tables in 15 or 20 minutes, I'm going to switch to Zoom. Although it's not that profitable even in there, but at least we don't have to mourn about bad tables. Yeah. Well, I'm going to see your chat in real time, but I'm going to reply to you in a couple minutes later. We have around 2-minute delay just to prevent abuse of the stream, and we have 1 confirmed abuse that we have had to deal with. You can find the reason in the link that Animex said, so that's why we are using 2-minute delay. And of course, if I had any suspicious about abusing, I'm going to switch the tables off from my screen. So we are making it as hard as possible to abuse the stream, and it's kind of shame it affects the watching quality, because the 2-minute delay doesn't actually help on interaction, but I think it's manageable. So if you have any questions about the hand, please say it in the chat. Use the table number 1, 2 on the top, and 3, 4 are going to be here on the bottom. And say what was my hand, because then I'm just going to open the replayer and I'm going to find my hand, and then we can talk about the hands. Even that we have the delay, don't be afraid to discuss about the hands. I'm more than happy to explain or go deeper to hands that mean something to you. So, although it comes around 5 minutes later than when you see it on the screen, I think it's good if we can go back to those hands. So, just say, and remember, there aren't any stupid questions, only stupid coaches. On table 1, it's kind of tricky. We have overpair and cut shot. Cut shot is not the nuts, but we have king blocker, so if 10 comes, it's pretty much the nuts. But we have just an overpair, so if we call and turn is blank, he's probably going to barrel if he has air. Or if the board pairs, he's going to barrel. If king comes, it's not good. So whatever the turn is, we are facing a tough decision, so I'm just going to fold my overpair here as it's 3-way pot. On table 3 we have the nut flush draw. Pretty easy to play in 4-way pot, because the best thing that can happen is 4-way all-in. It's 100% sure plus EV for us. And we hit the bottom set. Wow. I think this is a spot where we have to bet. Because if someone has straight, he's going to raise us, and we have 40% against the straight, so we can call and see. But now both fold, which is kind of strange. On table 2, I'm going to stab the bot. As when he checks the flop, he probably doesn't have anything, so we can steal the bot. On table 1, I'm isolating the min opener. And we flop pretty nice. We have inside wrap, 9 outs and a flush draw, and it's ace high as we have 3 bet. I'm actually going to bet. And if someone raises, it's super strange bot, but often we're going to get folds. And if people call, they often have small flush draws and something like that. They are chasing against our assumed aces. On table 2, it's a limp pot and button pot. The 6 is my pivot card, which means that there's a lot of turns that give me a wrap or straight draw, and I have the top pair, so I'm definitely going to call on the flop, and on turn if he keeps firing, I'm just going to fold, because the turn doesn't help me. And he pays $5, so I'm just giving up. When I'm explaining on Play Live, there's always the time bank that limits my explain. And probably I miss a lot of things that are in my head, but I forget to say them. So at any point, if you have a hand that you would like to come back to, or you don't really understand my explanation, just say it. We have had some great discussions. And after all, the hands that interest you, wow. I'm actually going to bet this flop on table 2. Probably he's going to raise me, he has aces and he's check raising, but when he checks the flop, he probably doesn't have ace at least half of the time, and we are making auto profit. So the hands that interest you and hands you are interested in are the hands that benefit you the most. So definitely say it in the chat so we can talk about topics that help you to improve. Because after all, the reason why we are having these coaching is to improve you. Table 2, we have overpair and he's wide loose. I'm going to bet fold. If he raises, he probably has something on the board and his range is wide ahead of us. But sometimes he folds and it's, you know, if we check, there's going to be so awkward turns. But when the turn pairs, it's a good card to barrel. And he folds a lot of equity. And one good reason why you should comment about the hands is that I'm playing on some level, but I have no idea where you guys are. And there's probably some more experienced players and more beginners watching this coaching. So there's no way I can explain everything to the level of the viewers. So as about the starting hands, when I'm folding these ace jack 10 deuce, I don't give any explanation, but if you wonder why did I fold it, be brave and ask it, and I'm more than happy to explain it. So even if we are playing PLO50 and I'm talking about some advanced stuff, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't ask any basic questions. On table 2 I'm actually going to complete with King Jack 9. It's pretty close, but of course it creates this situation that the big blind raises and we probably have to call. I don't know. Well, we have to. Although this hand is such poor at, if it's going to be a multi-way pot, it doesn't really hit anything. Anything good. It's so hard to flop the nuts. Oh, who starts at 9 PM? I did start at 9 PM finish time. Table 2, I really would want to fold this one. Only $10. I'm actually going to fold because he has only $10. There's not even implied odds, and this kind of flop I just have to get it in, and often when we get it in we are in really bad shape. On table 3, if this Finnish guy would have bet the river, I would have called him because he has a ton of draws in his range. But now he has wow. He has runner trips. He called this flop with 8 high flush draw, which is a horrible call. His name is, in English, it's translated as what the fuck, so it kind of says it all. If he was thinking player, he should have bet the river, because his hand looks like a misdraw, but he has trips, so definitely bet, and I would have insta-called with my queen. Now we are just waiting. Well, the good news is that we haven't lost any big pots in the first 15 minutes. Woo! Last week we were playing Heads Up Zoom. It was quite fun. And on Friday, in the Finnish evening, we were playing pretty break-even. But in the last 15 minutes we lost $185. 3.5 buy-ins, so it was kind of cold shower in the end. On table 4, he's white side. There's double gap in the middle, so I'm going to fold. If it was any better hand, I would 3-bet less than a pot just to isolate him. And the reason for 3-betting less than the pot here is that if he 4-bets, we get a lot better odds. And we have one outside table, which I'm going to show you if we have any interesting spots. Super tight table 4. Wow. Yeah, flop percentage is 11. See, I'm going to close this table as soon as possible. Oh, 11, it means that, I don't know, even 1 out of 3 hands they are seeing the flop. Ew. No way to make money on that table. So we are going to put this one here. Where have all the fishes gone? You know the song. Well, we totally missed the flop, but this guy is just never folding, so I'm just going to give up here. So, Wabakan, how do you pronounce it? Please join the stream. We have been going on for 20 minutes. Glad you joined us. On table 4, we have just the crappy queens, not going to call this pre-flop. Of course, our crappy queens would have been pretty nice hit on this board, and the board is so dry that we are probably making a lot of money, like he's potting here, which is very bad decision, whatever he has. The fold pre-flop was the best play. Because 7 out of 8 times we don't hit the board. On table 2 we have nice looking hand, but this is far from monster hand. Because 7-9 doesn't play along with ace king. Of course this flop is pretty nice for us. We have top pair and gut shot. And I'm going to call here and see what happens on turn, because we have three-way pot. We have position. And he's a regular, so I really want to give him a lot of tough decisions. And probably if this turn was hard, I would bet here. He's betting big. So I really think that I'm blocking the king. I'm going to call this one, and of course now I'm calling this river. He's probably betting. If he has air, he's betting, and when he checks, he might have an overpair. And my hands look like a misdraw. So he might bluff catch me, and he does. He probably has aces. No, he has king queen. So yeah. He had just overpair, top pair. And I really thought that he might have air or stronger hand, but it's hard to play out of position when you hit the pair top pair. And on the river he checked on. Wanted to be tricky. But I think if he had aces he would have played it in the same way. Now this 88-38 guy donks for pot. It's so strange. Now why would he donk for a pot if he... I'm going to call once. Oh. I just said that 1 out of 20 times I hit an ace. So the original plan was to call, and if he fires turn I'm going to fold. But if he has some kind of draw or something, he probably checks the turn and we see the river and we can estimate his range. But now we have to bet, and if he has king he is probably going to call. I don't think he's going to fold. Now if he bets, I'm really guess he has quads. So sick. Wow. He's such a shorty that I have to shove. Because ace king, well, he has one combo of ace king, one combo of. Because I'm really worried about quads here. But he might have king 10. Oh, I have to shove. And when he thinks he probably doesn't have quads or he's dancing around his table. And he folds, which is super strange. Wow. Wopacon is asking, do I prefer normal tables? Yes. I have explained the reasons a lot of times in the videos. Basically, if you look at the average players on flop in Zoom and in normal tables, you see the reason. In Zoom, it's around 25 or something. And in normal tables now we have average players per flop around 40. And the more hands your opponents play, the more you win. Because the way you make money in PLO is that people play with bad hands that hit medium strength hits. And you can dominate them. But if everyone is playing tight, it's hard to make money. And the rate just kills your hand. It's possible to make money in Zoom, but it's harder. And there's a post on 2+2 about players that play most hands in Zoom. Are they making any money in No Limit Hold'em and in Omaha? And it was funny that even in PLO50 Zoom, the players that play most hands are playing break even. And table 1, I'm going to call. But I don't like it, because if an ace comes, I have to call it. And he bets big, so we have nothing. And on table 2, I'm going to just bet the river half a pot. He probably is going to catch if he has anything. And he's not going to bluff when I call the flop. Oh, we have a nice stack on table 2. How did that happen? Now we have 3 outside tables open, so and we win 50 BBs from the Finnish what the fuck guy. We have turned full house and he has overpair and runner straight. Then he hit his runner, but this time we win the pot. On table 4, thought about calling, but these stars showed that if these were more passive and call happy players, I would call with my jacks, because we often create 4-way pot and we are calling for set value. We have position. Table 1 I complete with my double suit. Could have opened, but the hand is not really strong unless we hit the board and we are playing out of position. So table 2 ace is, well, he is 92, 46, 17. So the thing is that what would he... When he donks, it's pretty much it's either air or it's a king. I think he shouldn't have any queen jack type of hands, or he might have, but if he was a better player, like he really understands something about poker, then I would think that why would he donk if he has a king? But when he is VPIP 93, he might donk with a king because it's a strong hand. But I think he has a lot of bluffs in his range, so I'm going to call it. And on the turn, it really helps our hand. He checks, of course, now we have to bet for value. But when he calls the turn, well, he might have a king, of course. But when he bets the river, it's so strange. So I think he actually often might have the quads here. It would really make sense if he's VPIP 93. And we don't hit our full house, so I'm going to check call. And he pots. Wow. Turn queens, so yeah. Made a full house on the turn. 10% on the flop. And we won. Oh, wow, he donks. I'm going to call. And see what he does. On the outside table, did I show him? No, I don't. Here, someone opens, we call in position. I don't really think it's an easy call because there's an open and call, but then someone 3-bets and we have a wrap, so we have to get it in. And we win again, so we are running hot today. On table 3, I'm going to value bet the river because turn and river are blanks. And now we are basically in cutoff, so I'm opening my crappy queens. Table 1 we open aces, but the flop is total miss and there's bet and raise, so we get away. We hit open ender and overpair. I'm going to value bet it. And against this what the fuck guy, I'm going to value bet the turn. He has so many draws and crappy hands in his range. Table 3 I'm betting the flush turn because I don't want to check fold and I don't want to check call, so I'm betting. It's strange that people fold a lot because they are calling the flop with crappy ace or some kind of cut shot or king 5 type of hands, so they are folding on these turns. But if I check the turn, I'm often giving up, and now he raises, so he has the flush this time, and I'm not going to battle with him. I'm going to just call with aces because I haven't 3-bet him at once, so if I 3-bet, he's going to put me on 80. Of course, when we flop the effective nuts, it's a lot easier. And he check folds the flop, which is super strange. And outside table we made a hero call with pair of tens, and the Finnish maniac had a pair of jacks. So reads were right, but it's this, we had just a pair and gut shot, but yeah, he had just a pair of jacks and he bet flop and turn. So I read the situation pretty much perfectly, but he happened to have better hand. But it was a total bluff for him. But let's see if he keeps bluffing us. Now we are just waiting, 7 tables open and not a single hand that we can play. So all we can do is wait. Table 4, well, it's not profitable. None of these are super profitable. There's a sort of interesting hand. I'm going to put this one because this Finnish player is super aggressive. Out of 14 hands, 64, 50, 33, he's post-flop aggression 71, 100, 100. So he's super aggressive, and these type of players create a lot of problems to many players. I hear it so often that people are asking, how do you play with these maniacs? So the hand that on replayer is that we open this shorty 3-bets. I don't want to shove my ace high, so I'm just calling, see if I hit anything on the flop, and I hit pair, flush, draw, cut shot, everything, and we put the money in, and on the river we hit the flush. So it was nice small win. Let's see how long this guy lasts on the table. He's playing super aggressive. Like earlier, he shoved cut shot on the flop. That's how he got this big stack. And we are 200 pips deep with him, so I'm not going crazy. And here we have a draw to second nuts. Of course, there's one card that gives us nuts, it's Ace of Diamonds. But let's see what happens. The problem with King High Flush is that in multi-way pot it's so hard to value bet it. Because if button bets I call and 2 guys call behind me, some of them probably has the nut flush draw. On the turn I'm betting for value. There's no one bet the flop, so they have a lot of draws. And I don't think anyone is raising here without the full house or trips. And on the river, it's so hard to get called by worse hand. Some queens or jacks with diamonds is going to call me. He might have 5-4 and he bots the river. So I don't ever think he's potting it with the flush. So I'm just giving up. On the outside tables, not that many good. Well, there's 157. I'm going to mark him green. Although it's only 15 hands, but he's now 53-13. So there's a huge gap between VPIB and pre-flop raise, which indicates a fish. And then we get a 3-bet, we call, and we flop. Nothing. And it's the second 3-bet out of position the opponent makes, so we can't really make any assumptions of his range. So against unknowns I'm not going crazy. There's some Finnish Supernova on the tables too. Strange. And there's a lot of new tables open. I'm going to find putting myself in few of them so we can have more tables. And now we just wait. If you have any questions about PLO poker, whatever, Poker Mania, feel free to ask. If you are watching the video on YouTube and you are not a member of Poker Mania, please join. Then you can watch or interact with the live coachings through the chat. If we 3-bet here, we are pretty much telling everyone we have aces, and when we have super crappy aces, I'm just going to call. And then see what happens. If he c-bets the flop, I'm definitely calling. Now no one bets the flop, so probably the only one who might have 10 is this Raven. So I'm going to bet the turn for value. Maybe get calls from some kind of jack or king queen type of hands or flush draws or whatever. If he calls, he probably has overpair himself. Wow. Really feels like pocket jacks. Well, I have to call this one. And yeah, pocket jack, so I was right. I really don't, well, yeah, of course. He played it well. So in this part, the pocket jacks is pretty much the only hand that makes sense. And he had it, but he might have pocket kings or even aces. Just he shouldn't value bet them on the river, but on the other hand, he is representing only pocket jacks on the river for his value range. So we are waiting. Uh, 51, this one is green. Before we have the open ender and overcards, I'm going to bet. But now when he raises, we have backdoor flush draw, and we're going to hit the straight like 1 out of 6 times, so we have to win a pot of around 20. So we need to get, for our hit, implied odds pretty much turn and river, and I don't think we are getting 2 streets of value with our straight if we hit it. We can get 1 street if he has a set, but not a second one. So I have 4 tables open on the outside, but they are not great ones. Regulars, regulars, regulars. Even more regulars. I'm just going to close them and see if I can find any good ones in the lobby. Yeah, there are a few that has high flop percentage. So I'm going to few of them. And I'm just going to close some of the bad ones. That is bad. If someone is wondering that I'm changing tables all the time, I think you really have to table select. At PLO50 or at any micro stakes. Because if you are playing with the regulars, here we have a situation where this regular, well, his check raise flop is 1 out of 3 times, but he shouldn't have 4s or 5s a lot in his range. And we are blocking the king, and he's definitely raising here with a lot of draws. So I'm going to shove here, because I think his raising range is pretty wide. And if he has the set, then we have the 30% to the flush pot. If I call, it's so obvious that I have the flush draw. And he has king 4. So, and he has the 7, so he's blocking some of my outs. But he didn't have the flush draw, so we were 54% favorite. So yeah, his raising range was pretty wide. Too bad we got only quarter back. there aren't any juicy below 100 tables. And we have a bankroll for the coachings that you can find on the forums. And I don't want to play below 100 because the variance gets so high there. Table 1 I'm just going to call. And he's sort of shorty, so there's no point of raising. If I had even pocket queens with ace, I would raise here. And we flop the cut shot and some backdoor stuff. So I'm checking back and see what happens on the turn. And pretty much if he bets, I'm just going to fold. Because I have only cut shot, double cut shot, yeah, so I might have called. Table 4, the Maniac opens, definitely call. We have a lot of nut value in our hand. Actually, on this last hand, when I have double cut shot, I think when he bets so small, I should have called. So I sort of made a too hasty decision there. And on table 4, I have to call and hope we hit good. And I'm going in with this medium guy. He probably shoves here, and I can see what the Maniac does. Wow. The heart is not what I want to see on the turn, because when he draws, he probably has a flush draw, but my hand looks like a flush draw too. So we probably at least see the river, and the river doesn't help us, so we are going to lose this hand. Yeah, he had the flush. And he had actually the aces this time. And table 3 I'm going to shove because we have 2 pairs, but our hand is not going to improve a lot. And he has half a pot bet, he has flush draws and straight draws, and against flush draws we have 4 out, but I don't want to give any free cards to straight draw, so I'm just going to shove the turn. I made the decision on the flop, and if he has the flush, he's in a pretty good shape. But I just, wow. I just can't see that he calls my pot bet on the flop and folds on the turn when he has half a pot. Well, yeah, maybe he had a range that he's going to fold. Or he got scared of the flush draw when I raised the flop. On the table 1 we flop the world, so to speak. We have a wrap and flush draw. We are favorites over a set, but too bad we don't get any action. Table 3 we have a nice hand. When you are playing against aggressive player, it's important that you keep your range strong. Like, you don't want to call with hands that will hit medium strength hits. You want to flop air or nuts, basically, with him. And on table 3, the turn is the worst card in the deck. It completes everything. So now we are beating some flops 2 pairs, so definitely check back here. And he has a... oh my god. He has cut shot on the flop, and third time today he hits runner and misses value, which is of course nice, but I don't understand. He goes with cut shot and hits runners, and wow, amazing guy. He has over 200 BPs on both tables that he's playing. Yeah. He is messed up. Probably the best customer we have today. I think that tables 4 and 3 are the most interesting ones, because on table 3 we have this fucked up, or what the fuck is actually his screen name, and table 4 we have this maniac. And all we have to do is to wait until we dominate him and stack him off. On table 2 I'm going to isolate this regular open. Let's see if we can find good tables. We have now so many tables that we can actually close some bad ones. Do we even have bad ones? But now he donks this flop, and this flop hits his calling range a lot, so I'm just going to fold. And here the Finnish guy c-bets big and there's a call, and our hand is not going to improve a lot, so I'm folding my weak top pair. Of course this turn would have been good, but the ranges are just crushing us. Oh, now the what the fuck guy left one of the tables. And he left both tables. That's bad. Table 3 is probably a bad one, because the only green player is so shorty. So we are probably changing it. Table 3, just a normal half a pot c-bet, and he is going to fold a lot. Wopperton is asking what are my typical stats. Well, I would assume something like 25-20. And 3-bet is totally depends on my opponent. Sometimes it's around between 5 and 10. Because it really depends on your opponents. Because your opponents create the range for you. Table 4 we have the nut flush draw. And we pick up a double cut shot. Oh, it's just a cut shot with the jack. So we'll definitely call if he bets. And river is sort of interesting. I'm just going to check back. And he has just a wrap on the flop, so we pick up a nice pot. On table 1, I have just a bluff catcher, but I'm going to call. And I assume that often the reverse goes check, because whatever draw I have on the flop, the turn completes it, and river completes a flush, and his river aggression is only 25, 1 or 4 times, small sample size, but if the turn doesn't hit my hand, the river should hit always my hand. So I'm going to fold. He probably has the flush himself. Or even a full house. And the reason why someone is probably playing pretty tighter in the zoom is that it's easier there. You don't have to wait for the next hand, so you can just fold all the marginal hands. But one reason is that most of your opponents are unknown, and in normal tables, when you create dynamics and you get to know your opponent, you can start to open a lot wider, especially in position. Sort of, you can start to steal pots even with any 4 cards. And here he raises me and I have nothing on this board, so I'm just going to bet fold. Now we have a lot of going on. Oh, he raises again. But he raises so big, he's risking $7 to win 5.5. So if this is a bluff, it's actually a pretty bad one. So I don't mind folding here. And here we have what we have. We have flush draw and wrap. And he donks. He probably shouldn't have queen 10 when he donks. So I'm going to call. And now it's an interesting one. Oh, he checks. Wow. Well, at least we can see his donking range. Yeah, it's just a king 9 with flush draw. Well, if I had a pair queen, then he's ahead of my straight, so it's. I'm going to mark it because now I know something about his donking range. Wow. We had invested $6. If I had any other hand, I would call, because if they both have aces, we have the best equity, but now we don't have enough. And if only one of them have aces, we have pretty bad equity, and now we would have had pretty crappy equity. I don't really understand why this guy 3-bets that crap ace king 6-3. That's total trash. Maybe he's bored or he's a Hoden player that thinks ace king is monster in Omaha. Table 4. Well, the thing is that it was this hand. No, it's not this hand. It was this one. The problem is that he is probably not folding because he's not afraid of putting his money in. I have seen him. He's a maniac. Now I'm making a small 3-bet and maybe get him to 4-bet something, but he doesn't. I'm going to check back here. I don't want him to go crazy and I don't want to stack off with this hand. So I thought about here, but he has so many 2 pairs that are actually flipping against me. It's hard to crush him if he wants to continue with this hand. So I'm just calling and give him an opportunity to make a bluff on the river. Well, let's say if this was a queen or 9, I would definitely raise him and stack off. But yes, raising crossed my mind, but we are so deep that I don't really want to stack off with just the top pair, top kicker. On the outside table we have, well, we almost had interesting situation. We 3-bet aces against Jordy, but I'm bet folding. Against this Gold Star I'm getting it in, but this is a spot where Richard cannot raise lightly, especially when I bet half of what he has. If he calls and he shoves, I can reshove. So I think that if Richard raises here, he has to have a strong range, but of course Richard is quite spewy. He makes some really strange raises. So, but I have nothing I can't stack off, so I'm just bet folding. And now there's so much going on. I'm sorry I'm so quiet, but on table 4 I'm shoving my top 2. But I can't shove because he just calls. Wow. And he has set of 5s. Wow. Slow played sets when he's shorty. Makes me smile. Like, come on. Shove the flop. I don't know what he was thinking. Table 1 I'm going to value bet the river smallish. If someone raises, it's an easy fold. But someone might call me with 2 pairs. Set of 6s, 4s, whatever. Now I have 8 tables open, so I'm trying to find some tables to fold. Table 1, yeah, no more fishes. So table 1 is gone. What kind of other tables we have? Oh, there's so many fishes on these tables. Let's put this one up here. Against this bet, whatever I'm calling with these hand cons, I have the possibility to hit pretty much the nuts. And I flop double cut shot and chop 2. And on the other table we get the money in. On Richard we have semi-bluff on the flop, and he happened to have top set, but we are lucky to split the pot. So we are running pretty hot today, definitely a lot over EV. But I don't complain. So now we have green players on pretty much every table, except for, oh, this Shum, whatever he is so green that it hurts my eyes. 73 and 7. And on table 3, the flush comes on the turn, and he's calling range. He's folded 7 out of 8 times on the flop, so he has the flush draw often. So I'm just going to fold. He has won 6 out of 7 hands that went to showdown. On table 4 we flop problems, button set into really scary board. I'm just going to keep the pot as small as possible until I hit the quads. Because if king or queen comes, it's not a good card. And this guy raises us, so I'm getting away. Often when the money goes in, we are drawing to 1 out. So let's see what happens. Oh, he has the flush, and I'm not sure if he can fold. If he has this, I would fold pair ace 10 here, because this guy is screaming for a flush. And he does fold. Yeah, I don't mind the slow play with 5s. I can understand the reason. The problem is that if he stops and thinks, what could happen if he just calls the flop, or what could happen if he shoves the flop? I don't find any reason why he should slow play the set of 5s. Nothing could happen with slow playing, so there's not a good solid reason for just to call with the set. Well, a lot of bad players go with the set. They don't want me to fold, so they're calling. The problem is that half of the deck scares them, then they are shaking. I don't know, what do I do? These sets never win. I love that. I can hold them. Aces, my aces never win. Yeah, dude, he limps pre-flop and shoved 10-way flop in full table. But of course, I don't mind him slowing. It doesn't change the outcome, no matter if he raises or... Oh dear. I'm just going to call, because if I 3-bet, it's so obvious, and there isn't any maniacs behind us. I'm going to call this 1-bet and see what happens on the turn. Because if he doesn't improve on the turn, he's probably going to slow down. 6 is really scary card. And it totally hits this guy's range a lot. I thought about betting, but this guy... Either he has aces or kings, or he has the 5-3. And I definitely think he has the 5-3 often here. Because when he calls the flop, after bet and call, he has to have a strong hand. Or then he's just a good player that turns it to a bluff. So as we see, this guy is 3-betting a ton. These finished by 50 and 0 out of 8 hands. I'm going to wait for a few more hands, and if he keeps up with the same BPIB ratio, I'm going to mark him green as fast as I can. On the outside table, we are 3-betting aces against 2 shorties. And now the flop, I rather bet small and get them on. And he shoves, he probably has the flush draw. No, he's drawing to 4 outs. 3 outs, as I have 110 in my hand, so he was in a pretty bad shape. 12% on the flop, and we win $25. Woo! Payday. Oh, table 4. The maniac left. And there's 3 regulars, and well, this guy is green. Kind of awkward table. 3 regulars and 2 fishes, but well, when we hit the nuts, it's nice to play. We have the nuts and 2 pairs and whatever. And we have nuts on the river, do we? 5-8, yes we do. Oh, when he bets, it's probably a speedbot, or he has 5-3, which would be great. But of course we're shoving it. And he folds, he folds the river. Wow, it would be so nice to see into his head what was he thinking. Like, I bet big on the flop, I bet even bigger on the turn, on the river he don't fold. I don't know what he's representing, but wow. Wow, but thank you, sir. I don't know which one to close. Well, there's one sort of bad table. Yeah, it's bad enough. Only one fish and he has only $14. And the table is breaking up, so we can dismiss one. I'm going to make a half a bet c-bet on table 3 because often both of them fold and we pick up the pot. And he raises, I think he's going to raise here even with bluffs, but the important thing is that he's raising $7.5 to win 5.5. So he's risking more than he's winning, which means that he has to be successful like 60% of the time. And I don't think he is going to raise that often here with the bluff. On the outside table, we are betting the turn, potting against 2 people with the nuts. It's double suited board, but now when he folds, he can only call, so it's easier for us. But no action, which is Okay. Table 1, Modano money, as you can see, he is 27.17, so super regular, but he is green. And the reason he is green is that when a regular has green, it means that he is calling pretty lightly, like overcalling over pairs or making bluff catch super easily. So he's not average calling station, but... Oh, on table 2 we have interesting spot because we know that this guy can't have aces with flush draw. So it would be a nice spot to raise him. But his 3-bet range has kings and ace king. But I have a king in my hand. So I'm actually going to shove on him, maximize my folding equity. I won't want to raise more than him hanging around with some kind of aces. I'm just going to give him maximum pressure, and he really needs to have full house or trips to call here, so he has to fold a lot of his range. And if I call, I don't see him barreling any turns. On table 3, it's one of those spots. He calls flop. He calls turn, and he raises river, and we have second nuts. Could he raise here? We have to. 1 out of 4 times, 1 out of 5 times we have to win. So does he have 10 high, 9 high flush 1 out of 5 times? I think he might have, but really often he has the king high flush here. Yes, he does. But he min raised us on the river. If he raises any bigger, I'm going to fold, but now he min raised. So I just can't fold second nuts to a min raise. Table 4 has gone bad. One of the outside tables has gone bad. So now we are closing a lot of the tables. We have a hand going on the outside table. Let's see how it turns out. Oh, the opponent folds. We flop top 2 and a flush draw. And I check raised him smallish on the flop. But we didn't get any action. So I'm opening up my PokerStars lobby to see what kind of tables there are. There should be a lot of good tables. That's one. That's one. That's one. So now we have... Oh, the flop percentage is so bad on that one. Ew. So now we have only one outside table and around 15 minutes or so left in the coaching. So I'm going to stick with these for now. Well, that's super bad table. I'm not going to sit there. Wow. All the fish is left. Oh why, oh why. I don't want to jinx myself, but as I think we haven't lost a lot of big pots today. And we have won some. So it really looks like we are building our bankroll back to life after last Friday's drop down. On table 3 we have a VPIP54 guy here, so I'm not opening this kind of trash against him. If this Bitcoin was like the one on table 2, fold 67% to a small blind open, I'm opening any 4 against him. So you don't want to open trashy hands if you don't have any folding equity pre-flop. You can still open with wide range, but with hands that can hit the flop hard enough for you to value bet. Oh, now we have a lot of tables open. Oh my god. Two tables. Well, I'm opening all of these tables that it offers me, so we can find the best ones for the last 15 minutes. Table 4, 9875 double suited. I'm going to open. This hand is good if you have heads up or three-way pot, but from under the gun when you open, so often it creates multi-way pot, and this hand sucks multi-way. Oh, he's 3-bet, a lot of high cards, so all of our 2-pair type of hands should be in pretty good shape. So I'm definitely calling this 3-bet. One option is also making a 4-bet. But I play small. I'm going to check raise this flop. And the only problem is that if he has a higher flush draw, he is crushing us. But he should fold a lot of his hands. We have flush draw and concert, so it's a semi-bluff, but if he has kings or queens, he should fold here a lot of times. And we are 100 pp's deep, so we don't need that strong. And he bet folds. That's the one benefit of calling the 3-bet that you can check raise a lot of flops that misses his range, and you have some equity when you have small cards. By 4-betting, we create a spot where we have to shove blind on any flop, and he can decide if he has any equity. So Arnimetsa, yeah, when you start, I don't want to jinx, I do jinx, and now if we have a major downswing for the last 10 minutes, it's my fault. Sorry, guys. And there's a good question last time. Someone asked that why do I think about wins or losings in the middle of session? Normally I don't. If I'm playing with my own money, my own games, I never look at my winnings during the session. I just want to play as good as possible. But now we have these crowdfunded games where we have to consider if we are losing a lot, because then we have to drop down in stakes. The bankroll management is pretty tight. Here we have a big wrap, but it's not so nutty. But I'm definitely going to call this one because he's a greenie. And 7 doesn't make us a straight. Now we see how much he bets. And he pots it. We can't value bet any spades. And there's not that many nut outs. So I'm just going to fold this one. If I had a positive read that he calls a big bet on the river with the set when the straight completes, I can't call there because there's so much implied odds. But without that read, I don't think it's a plus EV. And here I'm making my half a pot C, but the best thing that can happen is that they both fold and we don't have to worry any longer. The outside tables I have just trash and garbage. Wow, look at this guy. His name is Big Whale and he's playing 17-15. Oh, the irony. I'm going to mark him green because he's Big Whale. And now Shorty 3 bets. If someone 4-bet, it would kinda suck. But now we just call and see if we hit the flop. Do we or do we don't? Wow. Let's see. The problem is that when they call, they have a lot of ace queens, ace tens, but this we are going to call. He might have aces, he might not have aces. This time he does have aces and we were drawing to a cut shot. But we have to pay only half a pot, so easy call on the flop. Interesting turn. We have, what do we have? We have top pair, cut shot and 2 flush draws against green player. I'm going to bet the turn. And I'm going to bet the river, because if he was drawing to a flush, he's going to call me. And if he bets the river, I'm going to call, and he shows me pair of 9s. Dude, what the crap was that? I'm going to make a note. Wow. Because he doesn't have any draw or anything. So yeah, he's green, but well, 41-20. super aggressive. I'm going to actually mark him as an aggressive player so I can see it. That was, well, I've heard that when you float out of position, it's called the Scandinavian float, because Scandinavians are crazy enough to do it. But here, when he even checks the flop, he often has an overpair. And this time he has queens. And his range is pretty much queens, aces, so I don't want to make the pot bigger. Here the Bobby raises us. We have top pair and cut shot. If we call, we have to shove any. I'm just going to shove here. And this time he has 9-7. But we got one of the best turns on the deck if it was a 9, but this time he had. The reason why I shoved is that he has check raised before, so it's not the first time. So the more he check raises, the more bluffs he has, and he might have a flush draw of something. And even if he has the 9-7, we still have only 21%, so we were not in that good shape. Oh, we have another calling station on outside table. So as I jinx myself, we have now lost some pots. I'm going to check and see the turn here on table 1, because I could have bet, but table 3, I'm calling the flop, because if a club comes and he checks, I can so often steal the pot from him. And now he bets big. Of course he can bet with any hand because he puts me on a draw, but he has to have some kind of made hand. And I don't want to float him anymore, so I'm just giving up. He probably has ace in his hand, and if all the draws miss on the river, there's no way I can bluff him. Madonna has raised 22%, so when he checks, I'm going to check back here. I have 2 backdoor flush draws and top pair, and I'm not checking back to fold the turn if he bets. Pretty much whatever the turn is and he bets, I'm going to call. Because he's going to attack this so often. And then on the river we have to play poker 8, improves our hand, but pretty much hits everything that we call the turn with. So it's hard card for him to bluff. And now I really don't know if he could bet as a bluff, and this looks so much like a value bet, but it might be a straight. When I improve my hand on the river, I'm going to call here, and he has only pair of kings, which makes the river bet pretty strange, because I don't know that many better hands that fold. So is this a value or is this a bluff? And if it's a bluff, what better hand would fold? I'm not folding aces if I call the turn. I'm not folding 2 pairs often. But does any worse hand call? Ace queen maybe. So his river bet is bad, and if he wants to invest that money, why not check call and make me bluff my... Well, I shouldn't have a bluff range on the river anyway. So I think he should just check fold the river. But that's a common mistake with the Rex. They turn their hands into a bluff on the river and they don't even realize it. And here we have a 3-bet. Oh, we're pretty tight. His 3-bet range in position. Aces, 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 aces. Run down. Wow. Well, I have queen jack a8, so I have to call. If this ace was any other card, I would check raise here. Do I have folding equity? Well, I definitely do have, so let's shove it. Calling is not a good option in my mind, because jack or 8 completes a straight, then it's so obvious that we have flush draw. But if I shove, if he has small rundown or aces, he has to fold both of them, and he's 21-15, pretty tight one. He's probably not overplaying his aces, and queen 9 just hits my range quite hard. And if he wants to call with pair aces, we have decent equity. And this time it worked. We managed to realize our folding equity. It's 20-11. Today we are not going to have a marathon session. I have to wake up early in the morning and go to kindergarten. So we're going to close soon. And table 3, the hand is good enough to open instead of just limping. And the flop, it doesn't hit hard, but we have a cut shot. But the thing is that it's super dry. We have a lot of folding equity, and if someone calls, there's so many turn cards that improve our hand a lot. But now this regular raises us. We have only a cut shot and some backdoor equity. We have around 30%. It's not enough. We need around 40 or something, 45. So we can happily fold there. On the outside table, we manage to get value pre-flop, flop, and turn on the river when he spikes 2 pairs. It went check, check, so pretty much when we were ahead, we put the money in, and when we were behind, we didn't lose anything, so it's a perfect hand for us. Table 2 could have folded because the opener is so short. And on table 4, 3-betting maybe, but the hand plays pretty well in multi-way pot. So that's why I'm just calling. And when he checks, it's kind of strange. He's check raising or check fold. He might check call with not flush draw. And on table 1, this is one of the reasons why I like to 3-bet with double pairs. If I don't hit my set, I can still represent aces on the flop, like here, and win the ball. He check calls, kind of strange. I'm not that worried about spades, so I'm going to check back here. And if he bets, I'm definitely calling. I don't see any point raising. And if he checks, I'm probably bet folding. Not sure. And the thing is that actually when he raises, it doesn't make sense, because the turn went check check. He might have the blocker. But of course if he shows me the nut flush, it's going to look so stupid. But I think he would often bet his nut flush here. Can he bluff 1 out of 3 times? I think he can. This time he did. So yes, it was correct read, which is great. It's always nice to make good reads. So as I said, I'm bet folding. After I said it, I actually started to think that no, I'm not, because the turn went check check. If I had bet the turn, whatever, in different situations, because when here I'm going to on table 3 value bet the river. If he raises, it's super strange, but I'm probably calling. He shouldn't have full house that often. When the turn goes check check, the great thing about checking back is that it creates the threat of passivity on the river. Like when I check the turn, I often don't have super strong hand, and if he has the nut flush, he has to be afraid that I check the river. So that's why if he has the nut flush, he probably bets himself on the river. Same thing like if you check back the flop, an opponent has a strong hand. On the turn, he has to be afraid that you check back again and they miss a lot of value. So if they have a strong hand, they have to bet the turn themselves. So here, if he has a nut flush, I think he should have bet the turn, bet the river himself. But when he makes a quick check raise and that big, it really looks like he has ace of spades blocker, because he can't bet with the blocker on the river. If I has any flush, I'm going to call him. But if he check raises, I might fold some smaller flushes. So the problem with playing for nut flush blocker out of position is that it's so hard to do the bluff and make it believable. Like here it looks a lot more like an ace blocker bluff than value bet with the nut flush. And table 3, half a pot C bet, both fold, easy money. I have said it pretty much in every coaching. I'm going to say it once more. If you open pre-flop and on the flop, if you don't know what to do, always C bet. You can't go wrong. Can we go wrong here? I'm going to make a small 4-bet. Let's see what he does. And he raises, so now we can just charm. And he probably has aces and we flip. We have bad aces. Oh, he has ace 9. Christ. Well, 88, 63, 75. Oh, that makes sense. Didn't even look his stats, but woo. We were crushing him pretty bad because we dominated half of his hand. No, so we have to see it from here. 68 pre-flop. That doesn't happen often in PLO. When your opponent doesn't have a pair that you dominate, but thank you, sir. That was a nice ending to the session. We have almost 400 buy-ins. Oh, sorry, 400 BBs. 400 buy-ins would be a pretty sick stack. Almost 400 BBs. So there are small 4-bet inducement actually worked like planned. Although I thought he might have a little stronger hand, but do we have the nuts on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? We do. I'm going to bet half a pot. Because probably no one else has the nuts, so they are not going to bet here. We can't get the money in, but someone with 4-3 might call. Or said he's going to flop on turn. Do we here still have the nuts? We do, so I'm just going to bet big. It's hard for him to fold if he has 8 high straight now. Something like 8-6, 8-7. And he calls and we pick up a nice pot with the nuts. And he had 8-5. So the reason why I bet big on the river is that if he has open ender on the flop, the 4 gives him the second nut, so he's never folding. And his calling range is pretty much, or his range on the rivers are sets and straights. And with both of them, if he calls, it's a bluff catch. So when his calling range is super strong, that's when we can bet big. But in some different situation where we like hit the nuts on the river and his calling range is wide, then we might need to bet smaller. And here we pick up overpair, cut shot, half a pot. I don't really believe this one, so I'm going to make a raise. Because if he has a set or 2 pairs, he's never betting half a pot. So half a pot to these drawy boards are more of a weakness. And on table 1, May calls my flop, and on the turn we pick up a flush draw. I'm going to check back and hit my flush, and if he bets I'm going to call, if he checks I'm going to bet because it's a backdoor flush. And he might bluff catch me with the straight. And he just folds. On table 2, Chinese guy makes a cold 4-bet that really screams aces. And we have pretty nice hand against aces. If this rush hour 5 bets, I'm actually going to fold because his range is pretty wide. But here we call, and we flop the straight. I'm going to donk it. We actually have the nuts. Because he's probably not going to believe me when I donk. And this way we can shove the turn. And he probably has aces with the hearts. If he has pair aces, it's a horrible in my mind. Table 1 we have trips and flush draw and straight flush draw and so many draws. And on table 2 the guy is just thinking, and finally he folds. No idea what he has, but something weird. And we have over 400 BBs. Woohoo! And clock is almost 11. I'm actually going to put up the last range. Here, this aggressive guy bets the turn. He often has some kind of flush draw. And here, I'm just going to fold. And it's so bad. And he bets half a pot on the river. The problem is that if I call, he often has overpair. But would he turn into a bluff? I'm not going to make a hero call here. And he has 2 pairs. Oh, 3 of kind 6s. Yeah, the flop set. So yeah, that makes sense. The reason why I called is that I know he's an aggressive one. And he checks the flop behind opener. So he shouldn't have that. I don't know why he checks his set when the pre-flop raiser checks to him. Another turn everyone checks and he bets small, so it really looks like he's tapping to steal the pot, and there's one player behind me, so I don't want to raise him. So I call, and on the river it really doesn't change the board, and he bets half a pot again. So he was making a small value, but turn and river I like his play, but I don't like his flop check with the bottom set that is not going to improve, or middle set. So now I'm trying to find my poker tracker so we can see how did we end up today. Oh, there's the graph for the last Friday Finnish PLO night. I was afraid that, oh my god, did we lose? It looks like this, kaboom. So I was kind of shocked that, oh no, not again. But hi Bob. You just missed 2 hours of PLO coaching. We are going to play 2 more hands and then close it. And I'm just running out of battery, so good timing. A Finnish guy 3 bets out of position. I think I have to call, but I have a bad feeling about this. Because we have position on him and the other Finnish guy. So basically we want to hit the straight or set. So it's a battle of finish. And this king queen hits his range a lot, so I'm checking back and see if I improve on the turn. I don't. But if they check, he stole my move. If he checks, I would bet here. But when he bets, I have to fold, so yeah, he stole my bluff. I don't think he has a flush often with that bet size is so great. He has to win the pot like half of the time, or one out of 3 times. So if I had a chance, I would have made the same bluff. Of course, if I raise him, he has to fold like everything but the nut flush, and he shouldn't have a nut flush often. But then this guy, when he 3-bets, he might have aces with diamonds that he's low plays on the flop. So I'm not making a bluff without the ace of diamonds in my hand. And now they get the money in. nice board. There's aces and he had aces. Wow. Aces versus aces. He was 43 pre-flop. So, because he has 7, he's dominating him a lot. There's not a lot of boards that he can win. He doesn't have a suit and his 7 is killed. So he has 43%. Aces versus aces, almost 40-60 pre-flop. Oh, PLO is a fun game. You can be a quite big underdog with aces. So actually that was it. The last hand we're going to sit out. So now we put here today, and wow, this is where we end up. 250, 15 and 150 in EV. So we ran only $65 over EV. I thought it would be bigger, but yeah, this looks nice. This is the kind of graph you want from the session. We were losing in the first 5 hands or so, and then we just went up. Slowing down, and in the end we went up. So it's nice to have a good session after one bad session. We are back in business. So thank you. We had some questions over the hands, which is nice. Feel free to ask them more. That's the one thing I want to do on these coachings. I want to discuss about the hands, and I want to explain my thinking process more deeply, but I can't do it on every hand. So for all the hands that you are asking, I'm definitely going to do it and put up some numbers or equities if needed and so on. So in these live coachings, that's one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself, is to ask questions and ask me to explain my thinking process, because that's what improves you. But this was today. We have Finnish PLO night on Friday and English PLO next week on Wednesday. See you then, and for the Finnish viewers, see you on Friday now. Thank you. Have a good night, and if you are not going to sleep, have a good poker grinding. Bye bye. Let's see if our video has sounds this time. Last time it didn't. So, thanks and bye bye.